But the swarm came out of that colony and hung on a branch right here.
Perfect.
All right, and I had this little top bar hive colony, and I thought, why not just shake it into it? So that's what I did. So let's see if we can find a laying queen inside this colony, because that's something that you want to know after a colony swarmed, is do you have a laying queen? So since this is a sort of a contained space, we're not too concerned with using smoke. And there's really no place for her to run because a top bar hive will take out the frames till we find her. I can see in the front, I can see some pollen coming in, which is normally a good sign. And I think there's a sort of bee lore that exists that says, oh, so as soon as you see pollen coming in, you know you got a colony that's got a laying queen. That's not true.
They make bread.
Yeah, the bees will collect pollen. So we can use a minimum amount of smoke. Smoke the entrance a little. I can hear them, so that they know we're coming now. They're making quite a bit of noise. All right, let's go see what we got. All right. So with a top bar hive, those are the top bars. And it's kind of easy to find out where the brood is on a top bar hive because it's warm. You can feel the tops of the bars, and you know exactly where the center of the brood nested. And this is kind of cool up here. So my guess is this is honey. I'm starting to get some temperature here, and then when I get here, I'm getting the most temperature right here. So I'm guessing this is the middle of the brood nest. The queen probably won't be on that frame because she's probably finished on that frame. This is a feeder right here. I'm going to take one of these spacers out so we can move and get a little space in here so we can take some of these bars out. Okay. So that's what a top bar hive bar looks like. I'm going to give you some smoke in here. And the bees build their comb, and if you're lucky, they start it and they keep it right in a beautiful straight line, one comb after another, until they're finished. And then they're way out here on this comb. And this is the first little section of comb that they're building. And the interesting thing about the way bees build comb is they start in these little ellipses, and then they'll start another ellipse over here and another one over here, and then they join them together. But when you see the comb, you can't see the seams. So the engineering that's in their genome is perfect for building comb, and they can manage how they join the cells together. Now there is some remnants of what they've done, but it's not really observable as a beekeeper. But if you look really close, you can see it. Here's a comb that's a little further along, and then we'll start looking for the queen. All right, so there's almost the perfect example of a little bit of comb. This is not a fully developed frame. Of course, it has to go all the way across the bars from side to side before it's done. To handle a top bar hive frame, you can never tilt it like this. You always have to go and use gravity as a way to flip it around. So we're going to look for the queen here. Now, does the colony have a queen? We can't tell by this frame because we can't see any eggs in there. All right, so this is inconclusive so far, but we're looking for the queen. So the first indication that a colony has a queen is to see if there's eggs in cells, right? In this case, she hasn't gotten out here to start laying yet, if there's a queen here. Okay, let's take a look at this next frame, which is pretty much built out. So this is bigger. Okay, so this is full of eggs. So we know that there's a queen in this colony, so we don't have to actually look any further if that's all we wanted to know. But if you want to see the queen, you have to keep digging. And I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not. But in the center of those frames is eggs. All right, now, this would be a good frame for the queen to be on because this is where she's laying. So she could be here, unless she got a little frightened by the smoke. We don't see her yet, but there are plenty of eggs in these cells. And there's beautiful larvae in there. There's all kinds of really good signs that this is a queen-right colony. Nice frame. This one will be even bigger. And so it's next size up. It's not quite finished yet. Okay, this one has nice brood on the bottom. Then it has open cells and capped honey on the shoulder. Yeah, that's a drone. And there's a nice drone population here. So we'll take a look on this side. Very good. This is a good candidate for her to be on also, but I don't see her. All right. All right, I'm going to put this like this. We'll keep these upside down. They're fine upside down, but no other position. Or the comb will just fall right off of it. Now this one will even be a little bit bigger. Now this is a beautiful frame. I mean, you've got to remember that this colony is not that old. So this swarm date, I have the swarm date on the top. It's a very, very young colony. And they built all of this comb on their own. So these are very difficult to handle without breaking. You know, I'm going to be surprised if we don't see her on this frame. Okay. Let's keep going. But now you can see the progression of comb build. How, you know, toward the front, of course, is where they started. But you can see that the comb's getting fuller and stretching out. And as I mentioned, all of this comb started just like the one where it was just little ellipses. But if you look at this, you can say to yourself, well, I don't know where those seams ended up. You know, so. Is she going to show her face? Okay, let's see. I don't see her here. Yeah, nice brood. Wonderful brood. See how she should be really easy to find? Well, there's a big population on here, so sometimes they are on frames with a lot of population. Yeah, okay, there's a drone. Okay, let's take a look at another frame. They're almost perfect, these top bar frames. So we're taking the whole colony apart and turning it upside down, which really won't bother the bees at all. We can't leave it that way, of course, but. Okay, even more brood. So what you can tell from this colony is that they are going to come on real strong with a lot of brood. So this colony is going to be, in a matter of a week or two, there'll be a huge population of bees in here. Because all of this capped brood that you see will emerge. I'd like to see her myself. Okay. She's hiding from us, Rich. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to show her little face. That's quite a display, don't you think? Okay, she's going to be on this frame. I'm expecting these to be a little bit more stores. More brood. Beautiful brood. Okay, we're going to give these one more look too before we put it back together. She's laying out here too. So she's very, very, very productive and beautifully gentle bees. I mean, that's the kind of bees you want. Yeah, I mean, we're standing in front of the entrance. We're doing everything wrong, but she's like, no problem. And actually, you can still feel the heat coming off of the frames. Okay, this is our last look. Then we'll start to put it back together. And apologize for not finding them. She's here somewhere. Yeah, that's what I expected this frame to be, mostly honey. It's kind of heavy.
Yep.
Yeah. And pollen. It's honey and pollen. Hopefully that doesn't blow really hard and knock all the frames over. That would be a total disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to put it back together, but we'll look for, while we're doing that, we'll just give it a scan. Give the frames each one.
Probably in the box.
She could be on the walls of the box,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
Here she is. Yeah. Look at her. I mean, that's just a gorgeous queen. Nice full abdomen. Knows exactly what she's doing. She's in control of this colony. Laying eggs like crazy. And she's got to be on the last frame we look at.
Of course.
Nice, beautiful. So that's a genetic thing, the way they cap.
Yeah.
Some bees cap wax and leave it airspace, so the cap looks light. Other bees, depending on their genetics, will cap the wax, the honey, right down on top of the, oh, you got a mic in there. Okay. All right?
All right.
All right, there she goes around the corner on that side.
Okay.
All right. So let's put it back together. Here's what it looks like in total out of the box. That is just too beautiful. Okay. Not every top bar hive cooperates this way and makes this kind of comb. So a lot of times they will cross the comb this way, which makes it a nightmare to keep bees in the top bar hive. But again, it's genetics. You know, these I didn't give them any guide. They just started to build combs straight on the bars in that colony. So since it's the same queen, so you just saw the queen that came out of, you gotta hope that that's not the queen. All right, when you have bees on the bar, it's difficult to get the bar back in if they hang around on this edge. So the way we do it is we use that edge to just swipe off the bees. And then as soon as you get over it, you can put them down without crushing any. So that's a little technique you learn after a couple of years of struggling with trying to get them on there. These combs are getting lighter as I go forward, so there's a couple bees there. Just get them to go off of that comb by slicing them in there. Okay. And we met the worst bees in the colony because we went all the way up to the front. That's where the guard bees are. So, but it didn't bother them. So when we're privileged enough to see this extraordinary biology. It for me, and maybe I'm just easily amused, but it's incredible. It just takes my breath away sometimes. It's so beautiful the way that they cooperate and build comb, and you get to see the bees. All right, so we're good. This is a feeder I built for top bar hives. So this helps them build that comb. They don't have to totally rely on nectar sources. They can get on with other work and use the syrup as a carbohydrate to build comb. All right? I think we got it.